Welcome to our Comcast Business Voice Edge webinar for solutions providers. Presenting on our call today will be Sales Engineer Deneen Thompson and Stacy Miracle, our Director of Program Management. And with that, I'll turn things over to Deneen to get started.
Thank you, Lita. Good morning and good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for taking the time out to view our Comcast Business Voice Edge webinar for those who would like to sell our Business Voice Edge solution to your customers. So why are we even talking about our hosted voice over IP or unified communications? In this day and age, so many applications that businesses rely heavily on are moving to the cloud, and voice services are no exception. And some of the top drivers of why people are moving their voice services over to the cloud is cost savings, business continuity and disaster recovery, and improved operations, along with increased productivity, and to be able to support remote workers, which all in turn help to improve a customer experience for our customers. So by 2019, the estimate is 68 million seats with about $15 billion revenue opportunity. We're going to dive in now to the Comcast solution. This is our flagship voice product called Business Voice Edge, and here are the service components. Key advantages and benefits for the service itself is that there's no need to actually buy any expensive phone equipment any longer. Once upon a time, this used to be a capital expenditure for customers to put in a new phone system or a PBX, and is moving towards an operational expense. What our service includes is dedicated bandwidth, which is a very important distinction when we're talking about voice over IP or hosted voice solution, is that we do include that dedicated bandwidth on our private IP network. Very important for those folks who are concerned about maintaining quality of service on their voice calls. There's no ongoing maintenance cost because Comcast maintains all of the equipment. We utilize Polycom HD IP phones. Business continuity and disaster recovery features are built into our service. This is a scalable solution that grows with your business and enables remote workers, telecommuting, and is perfect for a multi-site location environment. And there's free on-net calling within and between sites. The actual service components here that a customer would need to purchase or subscribe to on a monthly basis are what we call unified or UC seats. These are extensions within the customer's organization. Wherever you need a phone, that will be an extension. Our UC seats include a 10-digit telephone number per handset. It includes voicemail, outgoing calls, direct dialing, our Be Anywhere and our disaster recovery and business continuity features. We also include a soft phone and a mobile application for those folks that are on the go, as well as many other advanced features. And it's important to note that our lines or call paths for the service are actually included in the seat price. So the main components are our access, which is that dedicated private bandwidth. We have a voice gateway, which terminates that private dedicated bandwidth to support our service, and the IP phone. And just an item to note that Comcast does not provide either the LAN switch or the customer's Cat5 or better wiring to support the IP phone. This is just a typical local area network topology for a customer. These are the topologies that we support for our service, either a non-converged local area network or a converged local area network. We advise that when you have an opportunity to sell Business Voice Edge to one of your customers, to engage your assigned sales engineer early in the process so that we can make sure that this is a good fit for the customer. Service availability and limitations, just something quick to go over. With our Business Voice Edge service, we do require a minimum of 5 seats or extensions, but that is on a per-order basis and not a per-site basis. And the example I'd like to use is a customer who has 2 sites. They need 3 extensions at one and 2 extensions at another. That would actually qualify to meet the minimum of 5 extensions. We support teleworker and over-the-top. It can be integrated with our Voice Edge solution for those remote workers who may be work from home, but they need the ability to be connected and be able to extension dial everyone within their organization. We can support our Business Voice Edge service on both of our transport types. We have coax and fiber optic. On our coax transport, we can support up to a maximum of 40 lines, or I'd like to say 40 extensions. And on fiber, we can support a maximum of 2,000. One item to note on a multi-service location order, if you have more than 12 sites or 160 seats, we do require an ICB just before we submit the order, and that's just to alert all of the downstream groups that we have a very large Voice Edge order coming down the pike that may need a little bit of TLC. So we're actually going to touch now upon the customer premise equipment for our Business Voice Edge solution. Here we see the suite of our Polycom phones that we offer as part of our Voice Edge solution. Top left-hand corner is our entry-level model. This is a Polycom VVX311. This is a fully functional phone. The major difference is it's 6 buttons or line keys, and it is a black and white monochrome screen. It is a speakerphone. You can connect a wired headset to this, and it is 10, 100, 1000 tri-rate copper capable on the back end to the customer's local area network. It's a very popular phone because on a 3 or 5 year term for our service, we offer this at no additional monthly charge. For those who want a little bit more feature functionality, we do offer upgraded handsets. The 411, the biggest difference on this, has got 12 line key buttons, and it also has a color display. Moving up the line, we go to our VVX501. It's also a 12 line key or button handset. The major difference here is that it's actually a touch screen. Next one up is our VVX601. This is a 16-line or button key set, handset, and it is also a touch screen. This can also have an optional bolt-on video camera as well. Then we also have a VVX1500 that is a fully integrated video phone. And we also offer a reception console. Some people refer to this as a sidecar. That can be bolted onto our VVX411, 501, 601. It's for a reception position or for anyone who needs to monitor any other phones in the organization, whether or not they're on the phone and do not disturb or idle. And last but certainly not least, we offer 2 versions of conference phones. We have a Polycom 5000 and 6000. And the major difference between the 2 conference phones is the microphone reach. So the 6000 would be more for a larger conference room, where the 5000 would be for a smaller conference room. We also offer a cordless option for those folks that want to integrate a few cordless phones into their solution for areas where it makes sense to not have a cord on a particular handset. So we offer Panasonic desk phone or Panasonic wireless handset, which would be the PPA60. We also have the base unit, which is required for either handset, and we do have an optional repeater for those instances where you need to extend the signal just a little bit further than the base unit would allow. This is a typical deployment for a cordless handset integrated into our Voice Edge. It would support a maximum of total of 8 handsets per location. And you can see this would be one base unit maximum of 3 repeaters, and a combination of 8 handsets. We also have some auxiliary equipment options. For those that are in very loud environments and need a loud ringer, we do offer an Algo 8180 for those very loud environments. On the flip side, for those extremely quiet environments where a ringing phone is really not welcome, we offer strobe light. So we do have that available, as well as an audio code ATA, which is an analog terminal adapter, and that is primarily used when a customer has an existing overhead paging system that they need to integrate into our Voice Edge solution. This is our voice gateway. Again, this is a piece of Comcast managed equipment, and every service that is getting dedicated bandwidth, that is what we call a standard site, will get either one of these voice gateways. This is actually really our router, firewall, and NAT appliance, and this terminates our dedicated bandwidth for our service and also provides the ability for us to do remote testing and troubleshooting should an issue arise. This appliance also provides the QoS needed to maintain those crisp quality calls. So with this, we're going to just dive into some of the key features of our Business Voice Edge solution. Really, our flagship feature on our solution is called Be Anywhere. And this is also referred to in the industry as Find Me, Follow Me, or Simultaneous Ring. This allows you to program your phone extension, your UCC, to be able to ring you anytime, anywhere, on any device. It's an extremely powerful feature, especially for those who are either remote or out of the office. This is a great feature to be able to receive calls anywhere you need to. We also have a soft phone application for Windows and Mac, and that allows you to have a replication of your office phone as an application on your computer. You make and receive calls with either the speakers and microphone on your computer, or if your desktop or laptop is headset capable, to plug in a headset, and you have your office phone as an application on your desktop or laptop. We also offer a Business Voice Edge mobile application, and this really is an application that runs on your smartphone, Android or iPhone, and really is like having your office phone with you on your smartphone. We also offer auto attendance as part of our service. This is a snapshot of what our soft phone application looks like. Again, make and receive calls from your PC or Macintosh desktop or laptop. This is also a snapshot of our mobile application, and this is what it looks like on your smartphone. So you can take calls as if you're in the office. You can also dial from your smartphone from this application, and to the end user you're dialing, it appears that you're calling from your office phone. It's a very powerful feature for those on the go. And it's available for download either from the iTunes Store or Google Play. This is our Comcast Online Management Portal. Once the service is initially configured and installed, this puts the power in the customer's hands to be able to self-manage their service anytime, anywhere that they have access to the Internet and their login credentials. With this online management portal, you can establish various user access levels, from just being able to allow a user to manage their user settings all the way up to an enterprise administrator who has the ability to make changes not only to different users but also to group features such as hunt groups and auto attendance. One important item to note, this is for a lot of partners, if you're thinking about being able to offer a service to your end user, to be able to manage this for your client, we can't provide the login credentials to you. However, once the customer logs in, they can actually establish you as an administrator, if they so choose, and then provide you with the login credentials, so then you could manage it on behalf of the customer. Some of the add-on features that we have for our Voice Edge, which are a la carte. We have a software-based reception console for those who would like a software application to monitor all the users within the organization on our Business Voice Edge. We can have additional hunt groups, the loud ringer, which we had already gone over the equipment, a shared call appearance feature, busy lamp fields, simple call queues, as well as toll-free numbers. This is a snapshot of our software-based reception console. Again, this is for an organization, for a user who would like a software application to monitor users, maybe rather than a sidecar attached to the Polycom phone. Our auto attendant, we offer multiple auto attendants included at no additional charge for our service. Folks can have a single layer auto attendant, or they can actually nest auto attendants together to make a multi-tiered auto attendant with submenus. We offer various hunt group arrangements, and this is also included. There is one hunt group license per user, so as many hunt groups that the customer has extensions they can set up and be able to self-manage once initially configured. Just to go over some of the key differentiators for Business Voice Edge solution versus some other IP voice solutions out in the marketplace is we don't use any voice compression. We use G711, and that's primarily because we provide separate dedicated bandwidth solely for use of this service. If a customer is buying multiple services from us, such as our business internet service, the bandwidths are completely separate. So we don't actually have to compress our voice, and which would not. So that way we can provide the best quality for the voice calls on the solution. We have the customer portal and administrative tools. We offer 24/7 by 365 monitoring and proactive in the event of an outage. The service is installed by our Comcast technician. We have various education options as well as a dedicated group for customer care after the installation. I can't stress enough how this makes us such a differentiator in the marketplace is that when it comes to our Voice Edge solution, we provide that separate dedicated bandwidth on our private IP network. It is not riding over the public internet, which is, I think, very important for a lot of customers. So it's a point that we don't stress enough. I think it's a value add for our service. So here are some of the installation overview steps. Once an order is actually submitted, we assign this to a project manager who opens up the project with a welcome call with the customer and yourself, with a solution design engineer as well. We will gather the preliminary information as far as the users and extension details, but they will go over in detail how you want this programmed initially. They'll review the optional features such as auto attendant, hunt groups, and their programming. The equipment is shipped to the customer site. And once everything is ready, they'll schedule an installation for a Comcast technician to come out on site. Once the Comcast technician installs the service, they will provide basic training for the users how to use the phone and some of the features. And then they'll help download the applications such as the soft phone application as well as the mobile app, and also help you log into the portal. We offer multiple education options. First and foremost is that we have a webinar series. So this is an interactive session which you would be doing an online session with one of our trainers. Now you can sign up for a live session, or you can actually replay a pre-recorded session. We have a self-help library, and this is a series of small videos on how-tos. This is really how to set up your auto attendant, how to record your voicemail greeting, how to do call forwarding. They're quick, anywhere from 30-second to 2-minute videos, and you're more than welcome to go to YouTube, type in Comcast Business Voice Edge, and you can take a look ahead of time. And I would encourage any customer interested in purchasing our Voice Edge solution to go ahead and look at our self-help library, and that helps make them become familiar with our service. And we also offer on-site training. If a client is going to look to subscribe to more than 50 extensions total, whether it's one site or multiple sites, they're actually, they can have one on-site training free of charge. For anything less, there is an optional fee if they would like on-site training. And again, this shows the schedule for the interactive webinars. Either they can sign up for a live session or customers can sign up for a pre-recorded session. And just a little snippet of our self-help library. Again, I encourage you to go to YouTube and type in Comcast Business Voice Edge so that you can view some of the videos for yourself. And now I'm going to turn this over to Stacy to go over the pricing.
Thanks, Deneen. So we're going to cover the pricing, but the great news is once you're certified, you'll have access to a rate card that kind of puts all of this pricing on one nice clean sheet. And the other thing to keep in mind, after I review pricing, Deneen's going to actually pull up our Business Voice Edge configurator, which generates the contracts that the customer signs. And you don't really need to memorize any of this. When she shows you the form, you'll notice as you plug in how many seats the customer needs, lines, etc., it's going to auto-populate the pricing we're going to talk about. So again, there's two kind of flavors. There's the number of seats the customer needs, and then there are also the number of lines. And you don't really talk about lines with the customer because based on the number of seats that the customer needs, the lines will auto-populate. So for any customer that needs between 1 and 40 seats, it's a 1-to-1 ratio of lines. So if they need 35 seats, we'll give them 35 lines. Then if they get between 41 and 160 lines, they will get 40 lines to go with that, and then 161 plus, it's an 8-to-1 ratio, and there's a minimum of 40 lines that will show up if you're getting the baseline of 161. Again, the configurator, when Janine shows that to you, is going to populate that automatically, so you don't need to memorize it. And then really where the monthly recurring charges comes in will be on any features and the number of seats that the customer needs, along with any additional features that they want. So as far as the seats go, if they're getting 9 or less lines, it will automatically populate a rate of $44.95 per month per seat. Then between 10 and 19 lines, that actually will drop the price to $39.95, and 20 more lines will populate $34.95. And the nice thing is this is based on the total number of seats. So if they're getting, say, 25 seats, then all of those seats will price out at $34.95 each. And then we also have some additional features that Deneen already talked about. So some of them do have a monthly reoccurring charge that goes along with that. Reception console, you can see, has a monthly reoccurring charge associated with that. If you need toll-free numbers, there is a $10 charge for that, etc. So again, nothing that you need to memorize. You'll have access to this rate card, but it'll all populate for you when Deneen shows that to you in a moment. And then we come to our handsets, and when you plug in the handsets, it will generate the monthly charge for those handsets. The VVX 310 is our featured free handset as long as the customer does a 3-year term. That $4.95 will actually be zeroed out. And again, when Deneen pulls up the configurator, if she adds a 3 or 5 year term to the configurator and you select the VVX 310, it'll automatically price it at zero for you. And then there are installation fees that are associated, and it's going to be based on the term that the customer chooses. If they do a 5-year term, there is no install fee. 3-year terms, it would be a $49 fee, etc. And this is on a per-site basis, so each site will have a installation fee. And then if for some reason the customer does not return equipment to us, or we have to come out and replace equipment because of, let's say, user damage, then there would be a charge associated with that. And then we have lots of training options, but if a customer is getting over 50 seats, we will actually come out for one day at no charge and train the folks who want to be trained on Business Voice Edge. If they're getting under that, then you can see that there are charges if you want us to come out and personally train. But again, there's some great training options on demand. But if a customer wants us to come out in person, then there would be a fee associated with that, unless they're getting over 50 seats. And with that, Deneen, I'll turn it back over to you to share the configurator and show them how to fill that out.
Absolutely. So just so you can see, there is a main page for the configurator, and there is basic information that we need to get filled out ahead of time. One important thing to know with our Business Voice Edge, because it is a more complex service than your average POTS line or business internet, is that what we would like you to do is work with your customer to determine what they need and to gather all of the account information ahead of time. The one thing we ask is that you do not have the customer sign this before you submit this back to us with the preliminary information. And a couple of the reasons why is one of the biggest ones is promotions. We want to make sure that the right promotion is applied to any of the services the customer may be looking to subscribe to, whether it's just Business Voice Edge or if they're ordering additional services such as business class internet or maybe some POTS lines because they need to support a fax or alarm. We want to make sure that the customer is getting the proper promotions and getting the best package they can get. So we ask that you get the preliminary information configured, the customer's name, the service term, date of the quote. A lot of people tend to forget this item right here. It's important to get that completed. The basic customer information, whether or not they're porting numbers, email address, their exact location, because one of the things that's very important too is that we are installing this into the customer's suite or server room, not just left at a main common demarcation in the building. So it's really important to capture the suite. So you want to fill this preliminary information out. The transport type may or may not be known. We have two options, coax or fiber. If the customer is getting fiber, they're usually getting another service with that is going to be over fiber optic. So make sure you choose that. We need the technical contact information. And then billing information, if it's the same as the service address, you would just select yes. And the information will pre-populate. This is the 911 information, which makes this very important that we capture the exact location for 911 purposes. I've pre-populated this with 20 UC or Unified Communication seats, and you'll notice that it automatically populated with 20 lines that Stacy just reviewed. When you're doing under 40 seats, you'll get a 1-to-1 ratio of lines included at no additional charge. And you'll notice that also it populated the correct tiered pricing per handset at $34.95 each. And any other ancillary services that the customer might want. Important to note is that with each Unified Communication seat, each seat or extension comes with a DID number or a telephone number. Sometimes the customer will want extra numbers. This is where you would select how many extra numbers possibly they want to store on their account for later use. So that's what these are for. Inventory numbers, if the customer's porting numbers and they don't want to use some of the numbers but have them as spares, that's what an inventory number is. and then some additional non-published, non-listed government listings or additional directory if needed. Then we move on to our equipment section. The voice gateway will automatically populate at 1. We need 1 voice gateway per site. And this is where we would populate what handsets the customer wants. You can mix and match. I've just, for simplicity's sake, I've put all of the handsets to be the 311. I've chosen a 36-month term for this, and you'll notice that there is actually no monthly charge showing up here because that's included. And here's all of the other additional equipment that the customer could subscribe to as well. And then down here, you choose either published or non, and then put the published information down here. And this is where the promotional information is, and this is where we want to make sure you submit this unsigned configurator to our support team or to your master agent. So this could be scrubbed so that the appropriate promotions are applied before the customer signs the paperwork so that we can cut down on possibly any re-signatures for any paperwork for the customer. And then last but not least, we have our training. Type online or on-site, and right now I've chosen online. So once you have all of the information, preliminary information populated, you will actually populate the data, which takes a few seconds to populate through all of the documentation. And part of this also will be, there's also a validation tab. And that validation will come up with things that do need to be filled out, which is why it's important not to have this signed until this is all scrubbed and the appropriate information can be added in. You'll notice there's a lot of information here, such as business phone, a sales manager. All of this information is actually needed before an order can be submitted. So what I'm going to do now is now that I've done the populate the data, the validate data button, I'm going to hit the order submit button. What this is going to do is now start populating the paperwork for signature. But again, populate the order summary, but don't get it signed until submitted back to either your master agent or support team so that we can ensure that everything looks good. And this will come up with your monthly charges, your standard installation fees, as well as your activation fees. Stacy, do you have anything else to add for the configurator?
Nope, Deneen, I think that's great. So now we'll go back to the presentation and just wrap up with some roles and responsibilities, etc. So Deneen, can you pop it back to the presentation, please? All righty. Thank you. Okay, so really this just kind of outlines who's responsible for what. You, the sales partner, really it's going to be your responsibility to submit the configurator that Deneen just talked about, completed but unsigned, to us, and then you or the master agent, depending on who's going to submit the orders through our sales partner portal, will then also submit that to us. You have your master agents, partner sales managers, which are our channel managers out in the field supporting you, and our partner account coordinator team. And really all three of those folks, they're there to help you with any product-related question, help you with the configurator, help you to generate and review pricing and proposals for the end users. And then our partner account coordinator team, which is our operations team, they are the folks that are actually going to take your order and start putting it through the factory. So they'll be engaging with our APS team to do a pre-contract review to make sure that we've got all the information we need. They'll submit your order, launch the site survey, and communicate the results of the site survey back to you. And then if the site is serviceable and everything looks good, they will engage the Deneens out there, but our sales engineers to execute a preliminary solution design workbook. Our sales engineers, they're going to be your technical point of contact. They will be contacting the end customer to do a preliminary gather preliminary information for the solution design workbook, and then they will also, if they see if there are any mistakes or changes that are needed, they will advise the partner or our operations team or our channel managers out there if there are any changes that need to be made once they've reviewed that. And then we've got our solution design engineer team and our service delivery project managers that will finish, complete, and fill out the rest of that solution design workbook with the customer. And then the service delivery project manager will also be the single point of contact for all services once the order goes to order acceptance. I believe Deneen mentioned this, but there is a tech admin feature. This is someone that is not provided by Comcast, but it's the person at the customer's location that the customer wants to assign that will have complete admin rights to the customer's BVE account. It's the customer's choice. They can assign someone at their organization to be the tech admin, but we also have partners out there that actually provide this service as well. So if you're a partner that does this service and the customer wants you to be the tech admin, again, they can assign that to you. However, we will only send the customer logon credentials to the customer, and then they can turn those over to you if they would like you to be that tech admin. So again, this is a key person that will have complete admin rights to the VoiceEdge account. And then some clean order guidelines. Most of this we already covered, so this is just kind of a summary site. But all of the locations will need to be in our footprint. There is a minimum of a 3-year term for those VVX310 phones to be free. It is a minimum of 5 seats per order. The coax maximum is 40 lines per or 160 seats per site. Our fiber maximum is 2,000 seats per site. A lot of times the customer may need a voice line for fax or credit card alarms, point of sale systems. It's really, really important if they need a voice line for one of those things that you also submit paperwork at the same time for that fax line, because that's would be generated on just our regular SMB contract, and then both of those contracts would be submitted at the same time so that we can process the order and get the customer turned on for all services at the same time. And there aren't any expedites for Business Voice Edge. Again, we need you guys to submit the unsigned configurator to us. The pre-qual form is kind of part of that configurator now. And then these are just some tips. Make sure you provide all the customer information, include the suite number, E911 information, etc. So just kind of a summary of that. And then the resources for you guys, again, Deneen hit on this a lot, and there's a couple slides in there, but really the resources and tools that are available to both our partners and our customers are on the Business Voice Edge customer training site. You can find quick reference guides on all of our handsets, technical guides, user guides, all those training options, self-help videos, etc. So a lot of information, and again, this is available to you, our partners, or the customers. So if you are going to be selling a lot of this product, I would recommend you going to this website and taking a look at what other options and tools that you'll have in order to support you while you're selling this. And we appreciate your time today and taking the Business Voice Edge certification webinar. Your next step will be to take our certification test, and once you pass that, you'll be notified that you're ready to go to sell Business Voice Edge. Thank you so much.